question that matters because everyone go, I need more leads. Okay, cool. I'm going to give you 100 leads for free now.
Right.
Can you handle 100 leads? And everybody, and I mean this, 100% of people, if they really think about it, the answer is no, because they
Mm,
haven't figured out the structure of their sales process. Does this
yeah,
make sense? Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah.
go, yeah, I want to sell transformations worth $10,000. Cool. If I give you a $10,000 client,
Mm,
will you know exactly how to handle it? Do you know how to carry yourself as the advisor that delivers at $10,000? And if you've never done it before, 99% of the time, it's no. And again, this is
mm,
where all of this stuff matters, right? So it's like, yeah, I want to, and the whole internet is like hyped with high ticket. I want to sell
yeah.
for 5 grand, 10 grand. Okay, cool. Have you ever had a 10 grand client? Do you know what it feels like? Do you know how you need to carry
Mm,
yourself? Oh, no. Okay. So do you know what boundaries you need in place? Do you know how you communicate with the client? Do you know how not to commoditize yourself and get the client, because this is what happens. A lot of people go, they might sell it by accident and get one sale at 10 grand, but then the
right.
client picks up and wants a refund. You've already spent that
Mm,
money, right?
yeah.
Because, do you see what I mean? So we want to look
Yeah.
at all the psychology.
I'll tell you what's like what really stood out for me just then is you're talking about how to nurture those leads, right? And
Yeah.
as you know, if you've seen in my Facebook, I'm getting quite a lot of interest with the teaser offer, and I'm slowly moving into like announcing the full offer.
Mm,
So what I've found is just literally yesterday and the day before, I'd get all
mm,
this interest with comments under the posts, and then I'd be thinking, okay, I know through my own business that the quicker you respond to people, the more likely it is that you can get their interest and kind of lead on. But however,
sure.
do I want to, obviously we're on Facebook, people are all over the world. Do I want to sit there watching every notification and sending every single person a message one by one by one by one, and then
Love
and,
this
and
question.
just like my whole day would be all over the place. So I
Yeah.
decided the next day to like block it. Okay, I'll do like a
Mm,
block and I'll send these messages, but then it's
for
like,
sure.
okay, have I waited too long? So these questions are really relevant for me right now.
Yeah, so I love this question. If you run a commoditized business, so SEO service, freelancer, a salon, like if you're taking bookings into somebody wants to get their hair cut, the quicker you respond, the better. But the reality is that you're shifting into being the trusted advisor, the consultant to your clients, and it's not about quick response anymore. Commoditized offer, quick response. So if I go to the supermarket, every product is commoditized. So I don't care about what brand of toilet paper I buy, right?
Right.
But if I want to work with a top expert in SEO, then it's not about how quickly he replies to me. What matters is that he's got his boundaries in place. So, how I recommend at this level, so it's a good question, never have click and buy, you always have application. Okay.
Mm,
But then state clearly, and this is where almost everybody goes wrong. Everybody, when they create an offer, they go, oh, I'm going to help you change your life. I'm going to help solve this problem. And again, that every time they say, I'm going to do something for you, each line commoditizes them further. In other words, devalues them even
mm,
more. What you do when you market at this level, you shift your language, the psychology to it is an application process. Every line, you are marketing your boundaries. So what you're saying
right.
is, I work by application only. Right now, I'm taking on 50 or 30 people into my new community, my paid community, or whatever the
Yeah.
number is. Therefore, I want to make sure it's the right fit. Please fill out the application. I check all applications personally. We'll receive a response in 24 hours. So
Mm,
you let people know, always the unsaid objection. You're right. Like if I want to work with you, right? So I'm one of your potential clients. I want to work with you, but
mm,
you're not clear up front in how quickly you get back to me if I apply to work
mm,
with you. You're going to
right.
lose me. That's friction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
That's
state,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
You've
state.
really answered that question for me, like that I had in my mind the last couple
Hmm.
of days, especially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
keep it.
should.
It's all about boundaries at this level.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. That's something I can implement straight away. I know what I'm going to be saying on my next post for sure.
So this is where marketing is unnecessarily complicated, is that we think we need to be fancy in our marketing, come up with different things to say,
Mm,
where masters in their craft, let's just put it that way, right? People are genuinely delivering at a very, very high level. They don't do any of that. What they do is they just market the way that they work. So because clarity pays. Confused people don't buy.
right.
Clarity pays. So for example, if you take, I'll relate to a beauty therapist. I've worked with loads of those over the years. The reason why I've seen many, many beauty therapists that go, oh yeah, I want to start offering transformations for £8,000 or dollars, but then they can't figure it out, is because they don't understand the psychology. And this is not just beauty therapists, it's
Mm.
freelancers, it's graphic designers, it's basketball coaches, the list is endless. When you when you continue to believe that you need to number one, deliver in the same way, then you think you've
Mm.
got to over deliver. Oh my God, I just charged $8,000. Now I'm going to over deliver and
Right.
actually burn myself out. But it's the way you market. Most people just go to town going, hey, I'm offering this now. It's this amount of money. Do you want to buy? It's like, no, there's step back from it. You need to simplify the whole thing. And this is where it gets interesting because it's so simple, it's almost irritating, right?
Mm.
It's like nobody fails in the advance with this. You just have to
Right.
say explicitly in as direct language as possible, this is the way that I work with my clients. This is how much I charge. When you apply, I live in Thailand, so therefore there is a different time zone. I reply to all applications within 48 hours. That allows me the time to sit and have a coffee and to be able to read each application properly because I'm taking each application seriously because that's the level that I operate at. The more you are upfront in all of
Yeah.
this, the more you're going to succeed with it. Does that
Right.
help?
And absolutely. You know what? What you just said there is 100% true as well, because I am going to sit through those applications because I only want people in my community, as you've touched on before, that I could see as potential friends that I'd enjoy hanging around with. So I want to read through their application to see what type of person I'm going to possibly be working with. So
Absolutely.
that's absolutely true. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, another actionable piece of advice that I'm going to start.
I know you when we first talked about working together, you said I'm in build mode, so this is very much like
Yeah,
for
I do.
month or next year, right? But
Okay.
you've got how many people are interested now in your offer?
I think I've got 20. It's probably almost 30 now. I haven't counted. Like, there's some more that have come in this morning. So yeah, about 30 people so far. I've
And would
got
you say that's strong leads coming through?
Yeah, a lot of them are really strong. There's a few candidates that look to be really good for one-to-one clients because the offer that I haven't fully announced, this is more of like a preview of what I was kind of thinking of doing. So I announced
Mm,
that. That's going to be a community. So there's a lot of good candidates for that for sure. But there's maybe two or three people that look like really strong candidates to be one-to-one clients.
yeah.
And if I can close them, which I'm pretty confident I can do, especially two of them. So if I
Mm,
close two out of three of those, that's gonna put maybe 10 grand in my pocket as a one-off
mm,
payment.
brilliant.
Plus the community itself as well is probably going to be putting 10 to 15 grand in my pocket. So if all goes well, which is looking really, really good right now, we could
Mm,
be looking at 20, 25 grand going from, as you just said, when I first, spoke to you about this, I was in build mode thinking, oh, months down the line, and I was writing all these plans. And here we are 2 weeks later looking to put 20, 25 grand in my bank account. So
yeah. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah,
And looking from the outside at your business, you've obviously let me into your world and see what's
mm,
happening. And without putting pressure on you, because this is not what it's about, I would say you can
yeah,
double that figure quite easily, especially the high level stuff. But mate, yeah, just from this call, predominantly the main action, like between now and next time we speak. I know you're on the group call later today, if you can
yeah.
make it. I know you're busy as well. Yeah, in terms of right now, it's just being more upfront in how you're communicating. Anything that creates ambiguity needs to be eliminated. So it's
Mm,
it's usually about 99% of the time it's a boundary. And I want to get back to people as quickly as possible. Yeah, but then also as well, you're that guy that's charging 5 grand, 10 grand a client now, which you
mm,
absolutely can because you've got this proof. You've done $3 million in your business over the years. You
mm,
absolutely can command that fee for one-to-one, right?
right,
Even small group consulting, you can command that fee. If you are instantly available and replying to
mm,
these people, that actually does the opposite of what you want. So a lot of the time, the
right,
psychology of
mm,
what works at a commodity level, like if you are replying to a client that wants SEO services, you got to get
yeah,
back as quick as possible because you're competing with all the other companies out there
right.
that offer SEO. But by the
Makes
time somebody
sense.
comes to you as a personal brand, they're saying, look, I'm ready to give you, Barry, I want to give you 10 grand. And you
Mm,
instantly go back, that actually can work
mm,
against you. But also, this is where all extremes become the opposite. So I've
Mm.
seen a lot of big influencers that have got millions of followers, and they have a belief I should take my time to get back to people because I'm successful and I'm
Right.
unavailable. But then it becomes vague and they come across as arrogant. So again,
Mm.
at one end of the spectrum, getting back to people too quickly is not good. At the other end of the spectrum, it doesn't mean that we can be this like celebrity. We're not Britney Spears, right? In 2010.
Right.
So what you do to eliminate all of this and to actually lay down proper foundations, you've got to communicate clearly. The more clearly, the better. Up
Mm.
front in everything that you do. And this is how I operate. I take time to sit down and have a coffee. I like to be visual because that helps. I mean, I like to sit down, have a coffee, and take every application seriously. It's my favorite time of the day is checking applications. I used to be like, oh, you'll hear back from me by email in 24
Mm.
hours. But then the issue is that emails bounce, right? Or emails go to
Right.
spam folders. So what you do is to leave it more open. This works for me and work for many of my clients. Is and by the way, if you're a beauty therapist, you probably want to say you'll hear back by email because your sort of clients that you're working with, they might be paying 5, 10 grand now, but they're the
Mm.
sort of clients that are going to wait for you on email. But if you have an online business, you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you go back and say, you will hear back from me in the next 24 hours with the next steps, right?
Right. Okay.
Removes
Mm.
ambiguity with the next steps. So what are the next? So the great thing is that you're leaving it deliberately
Mm.
ambiguous because you're saying the next steps because you're going to get applications, you're going to get applications that are dead right. And you go, this person's brilliant. And then you've got the freedom to say, hey, Barry, I've just checked your application. I know you've been following me online for the last couple of years. We've spoken loads. I'm just going to offer you the place straight away. So now you don't even need an interview. I'm going to offer you the
Mm.
place, but let's jump on a formality call. Here's my schedule today and tomorrow. If you want to book yourself a 10-minute call, and I can answer any final questions, but I'm here to welcome you on board. That's
Mm.
how
Yeah.
I approach you. Make sense? But
Right.
if you get
Yeah.
somebody who's a lunatic that you never want to work with, the next steps go back and say, thank you for your application. I've been unsuccessful this time. You don't need to justify why you're not a recruitment company saying,
Mm.
oh, you didn't get the job because of this reason. It's just like, on this
Right.
occasion, it's not been accepted. Some people will
Yeah.
come back and ask, but this is the stuff that like you've got to lay down these foundations. The more you market your boundaries, the more you look at these steps. Like we started this call with, there's five steps in your sales
Yeah.
process, and if you don't strategically and and also look at the psychology of each of those steps and build your ecosystem around it, then we're just
Mm.
throwing stuff at the wall and
Right.
praying something sticks. And I did that for many
Mm.
years. You know why? Because I can sell. So I got
Right.
away with it for many years. It's like I can just,
Mm.
oh, I'll do a sales challenge if need the money. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
do this. I'll launch a new product. But then I was in the world of like constantly creating new products,
Right.
working 300% harder than I needed to. And then also my entire business was reactive. What do you want to be doing per month with this
With this
advisory
particular
business?
business, my first goal with this is I'd like to be making it's actually quite a very realistic goal, I think. 17, the specific number is 17,000 a month.
So
Yeah.
17K per month, that's not going to happen by accident. You've got to be deliberate, intentional in everything you do. Setting all this up, is it painful? Yeah, of course. You need to put all this in place. Once it's in place, life gets dramatically easier and fun and profitable. For me, the
Mm.
pain of not doing this and not having a clue, and I did that for years, is excruciating.
Yeah, no, I was just going to sort of add to that really about the pain of just really like not sort of moving forward with this kind of thing. It's more painful for me to sit there. Like, yes, I have my SEO business and that does well. But somebody actually reached out to me just yesterday and he said, like, out of interest, why did you start doing this? Like putting all this stuff out. And I said, well, like, do I want to be doing the same thing for the next 10 years? Like, yeah, it's all very well sitting online and watching sales come in, but I'm not creating any impact. I'm not having any real, human interaction.
Yeah,
In this way, I can grow as a person as well. So there's an intrinsic reason as well that I want to go forward and push all
love it,
this.
man. Love it.
Yeah.
Very. Listen, I feel we've, from this session, there's a couple of things that you can implement.
I
And
know what I'm going to do straight away. Yeah, I've got
epic,
some. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
epic, man.
Awesome.
I'll see you on the next call as well. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I look forward to it. Cheers, mate.